Welcome to a Chef Knives to Go quick look product review. This is Steve Gamache, and what we have this time, we've got something with a nice long name, so I had to run it into the second sheet. But this is the Takayuki VG-10 hammered Damascus or Japanese handled Bunka 170mm knife. So this line has a core cutting edge steel in the center of the hard core steel of VG-10 full stainless steel. Heat treats about 60 Rockwell on that core steel. Then they cover that in a multi-layer stainless cladding. So there's a 17-layered Damascus multi-layered stainless cladding on either side, and they do some etching on that where the grind is to bring the layers out. And it's also got a hammered or tsushime or hammered finish on it. So very interesting, very attractive blade with a lot going on visually. The weight and dimensions on these are going to vary just a little bit from knife to knife, but this particular one is 121 grams or 4.3 ounces, so it's pretty light. Edge length is about 160 millimeters or 6.3 inches from the tip to the back of the heel. Overall length is about 12.4 inches or 315 millimeters on this particular one. Spine thickness, pretty much the same thickness throughout. I got about 2 millimeters, give or take just a little bit, all the way down. This is a Bunka style, so you have that reverse sword tip kind of corner here, and then you can see the tip gets pretty thin on these. They've got a pretty generous grind. You can see where that grind starts. It's super easy to tell where that grind starts. It's a very generous grind. The performance on this knife is excellent. So the tip is very skinny and just blew through onions really well. I'm kind of a sucker for that thin, high-performance tip, and this definitely delivers. And it's also pretty thin at the edge. This was very nice on onion dicing, julienne, and so on. And a little, not the world's best product release because it's a fairly high grind, but the cladding texture at the top with the hammering helps a little bit on food release. So let's get our beauty shot here. So very nice looking knife, very high performance knife, nice fit and finish on these. So a lot going on. You can see the hammering and a fair amount of polish to the blade at the top part and the flats, and then you can see the layers popping out there and definitely see the cladding peeking out from behind the layers. So this is the right side of the blade. They've got some etched maker's name and such in there. And on the left side of the blade, as you'd be holding it, using it, here's what that looks like. They've done a nice job polishing and rounding the choil in the back a little bit, the spine, so they're very comfortable out of the box. These are pretty darn sharp out of the box. I'll give it a 6, maybe even a 7 out of 10. It's not the world's highest grit on the edge bevel, but they're pretty doggone sharp out of the box. You could definitely get them sharper if you wanted to. The blade height on this one was 45 millimeters at the back, and you can see the choil kind of sweeps forward. So there's a spot for your finger there. The balance point on these is, let's see, right in there. And so you've got a spot for a pinch grip if you want to do that. The handles are octagonal maple with a red or brownish paca wood ferrule, and nice fit and finish on the handle. Looks like a pretty tight glue up job where the tang goes in. Handle circumference was about 75 millimeters or just around 3 inches where the two woods meet. And so the blade has a fair amount of stiffness to it, actually quite a bit of stiffness to it, but again, nice high grind and very good performance. Let's look at it on our cutting board. So here's what the edge profile looks like. Not particularly flat, but fairly low tip itself. Fairly aggressive belly towards the front half of the blade, so you kind of roll into the entire profile of this. I can get in there before the tip starts wanting to dig in, so you could definitely do some rocking with this. Glide cuts, push-pull. Probably not going to be a really good pure chopper, but you can see the general profile. But it works pretty well. So just a nicely crafted, nice looking blade if you're looking for something aesthetically with a lot of interesting visual elements to it, but yet good performance, all stainless, traditional or Japanese handle. This is a pretty interesting offering. So this is the Takayuki VG-10 Hammered Damascus Bunka 170mm knife.